Hey there, welcome to West Coast Supercars and Classics. I'm Mark. Today we are doing a very interesting quick overview of an exciting new car, the new 2020 Porsche 911, which is known as the 992 model. Thanks a lot to the Porsche Centre Victoria and Tyson Johnson for hooking me up with the car today. Tyson's with me today, and he's been educating me about all the differences between the outgoing 991 and the new 992. Just to briefly give you some ideas about the differences between the models, we've lined up the two cars, as you can see. We're looking at them back to back, so you can see some of the subtle differences between the 991 and the 992. First thing I've noticed about this car, checking it out today, is that, for me anyway, it really feels more like a turbo model, like a normal turbo model would look compared to a Carrera, even though this is a Carrera S. Yeah, this is the rear wheel drive model. All these cars now come with an 8-speed PDK. That's a standard. I don't know if you can get a manual or not. Not yet. The power output on the S model is rated as about 450 PS. I call it about because if you translate it into SAE horsepower, it's about 444 horsepower. Basic specs on this car is that it has the same length of wheelbase as the outgoing car, but it's about 1.5 inches wider. And you notice those fender flares at the rear. This is one of the things I like about the car. It's got a bit more aggressive stance. That's why I was talking about the turbo look. There is no narrow body on this car. It's all wide body. You might have noticed the flush door handles. They also pop out for you. So there you go. Now it's popped out. So that's kind of a nicety. And of course, when it's in the in position, it's more aerodynamic. Looking at the specs on the car just briefly, 0 to 60 time on the S model is under 4 seconds. Porsche rates it around 3.5, 3.7, something like that. I certainly think it looks fantastic. Very similar, evolutionary, but a little bit more aggressive. I think it looks pretty handsome and slick, personally. I would definitely have this in my garage at a moment's notice. The conundrum is, for people who love 911s, I guess, sure, you can get the outgoing 991, but this car is just a little bit better in all aspects. It's just been tweaked and just improved and still has that sports car feel. Nice handling car, it sounds good, but it doesn't beat you up. I think they've done a great job with this car. So let's go for a little drive, check it out, see how it feels on the road. As has been the tradition with other Porsches, you have your little clockwise key. Put your foot on the brake. Off we go. We're going to put it in sport mode. Drive mode is right on the steering wheel here, so you look over on your screen here, you'll see the different modes right in front of you. The wet mode is kind of interesting because they use acoustic sensors, as Tyson was telling me. Sport Plus. And your shifter is amazing. It's so smart to have it this small. Now, is everything drive-by-wire on this thing?
As far as your transmission shifting, yes.
No, we're not going there. Are we going there? Okay, so the transmission's drive-by-wire on this one, which is kind of cool.
And that's really to incorporate what's going to be the self-parking technology coming within the next couple of years.
Ah, right. And my seatbelt just tensioned itself. So we're about 2,000 RPM. The red line on this engine is 6,500. Same with the normally aspirated engine. Let's see, I got a heated steering wheel, which is nice. Throttle response is good. And I'm gonna open this window up so you can hear the exhaust note a little bit more, although this car is not loud. So I just want you to hear it a bit more. Right or left?
Left.
Yep. Whoa, that was a snappy shift. Okay, I'm not used to the DCT, that's nice. Holy smokes. Saw the tag needle go like, wow, nice.
For around town, I spend most of my time in normal or sport mode. When you do have a chance to really play with it, get into Sport Plus. But you will find it revs the engine quite high. So I usually just do that when I'm engaging the paddles.
Right. Chassis feels fairly stiff. If I go back to normal mode, it has a stop-start feature, by the way, on this car. So when you're stopped, the motor is now off. So you're going to get amazing gas mileage. No, I'm just joking. None of these sports cars are bought because they get amazing gas mileage, but it's probably pretty good. You know, it's more efficient, that's for sure. This feels like a sports car. It's a smaller car. Visibility is really good. You know, around town, it makes sense, right? It's a nice car to drive. Very nice. As you'd expect from a sort of gentleman's express, you know, Carrera. You can drive this car every day. You can drive it to work, but you could go ahead and take it out for a track day with the club, take it down a twisty road, stick it in Sport Plus mode, off you go. Like, you got one car that can do all of that. And it's not breaking down every 5 minutes, you know? So now we're in normal mode. I'm gonna go back to sport mode. Right now I'm feeling like I wanna take it out, let it stretch out on a road somewhere, and get it into its natural habitat. Of course, natural habitat includes restaurant valet parking, but you know, that's not for today. Are we going straight? Yeah. But I can't help getting the feeling that I would just like to take this car out and get it on some twisties and enjoy it. Honestly, it's screaming to me about that right now. But you know, first world problems, right? Driving a nice car like this in the city, oh well. It's hard to complain about it. So don't hate me. Going through your different display modes, I can do that intuitively. One of the nice things is now I'm looking at my various temperatures. We're looking at voltage. Just with your thumb, you can just scroll through all that information. You can look at your tire pressures. I'm looking at G-forces. This is just for more of the track. You got your sport chrono display. You got your map display. Nice big screen right in front of you. As we mentioned before, this car has adaptive cruise control, which is one of my favorite features. I don't have it on any of the current cars, and I kind of miss it because there's nothing more annoying when you're traveling along the freeway than setting your cruise control and then coming up on some traffic and having to like get out of the cruise control or fiddle around with the controls. So I really like having that. Let me just get into the throttle a little bit here. I'm gonna put it in sport mode. More than adequate, I would say. It's got more like it's more like a leopard or something like that rather than a gorilla, you know what I mean? And just the size of the car here, I can just imagine going down a twisty road or on the track. This would be absolutely perfect to just get you right in the frame of mind if you want to do sport performance driving. You know, whether you prefer the 6 or an 8-cylinder, you know, this is a whole taste question, which is impossible to answer. There's no right or wrong answer to it. It's just a matter of taste. But there's something special about these kind of more high-strung 6-cylinder engines, especially now you got the twin turbos. If there is some turbo lag, it's not very noticeable, and certainly if you're on the track or if you're keeping the engine revs up, you won't notice it. For what I just did, even in sport mode, you can feel that torque come on right away, and the car just has that smooth delivery of power that I really like. For just integrating all these things together to make it a fun driving experience rather than a scary or annoying experience, you know? There's a serious rush of power right there. There's like it almost kicks you in the butt around 4,000 RPM. This car is no pussycat, let me tell you. Well, it's a leopard. It's not a domestic cat, let me put it that way. Okay, so we have advanced voice control on this one. Let me try it, let's see. Just go like that, whoops. Search for speed traps.
Camera-based traffic sign recognition is active. You will find the current top speed in the instrument cluster.
That was fun. Search for restaurants. Let's try that.
Searching for restaurant in the location.
Very good.
Select. Please repeat your entry.
Cool.
Starting route guidance.
Very easy. Nice.
In 200 meters, turn left at the traffic light.
Cancel navigation. Does that work?
Route guidance has been canceled.
Very easy. Nice. Is it because I'm in sport mode the motor's staying on?
Yes.
So if I go back into normal, it'll shut off. Cool.
Yeah, and we can change that independently
Okay.
through car.
Customize it?
Yeah, I mean, we can go in, change start stop, exhaust system, rear spoiler.
Nice.
We can do all those independently. This is where we can incorporate and set up our individual mode. And as far as controls come in, and then fine tune your interior lighting, climate control, things like that.
This really reminds me of my 911 too, though. There's a lot of carryover. It's just a more modern iteration of it, but still, you know, cut from the same cloth in a lot of ways.
You're very welcome.
Tyson, thanks a lot. Tyson Johnson, everybody, come and see him at the Porsche Centre. There he is. Okay.